Hey, what's going on, Black people? I hope you guys are having a good day. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and welcome to the Black Financial Channel. This is theblackfinancialchannel.com. Today, I wanted to cover something that I just read about involving this company called Better.com. Better.com is a mortgage lender where the CEO did some really crazy stuff, and I'm going to talk to you guys about what happened at Better.com and why the internet is pissed. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every day. We are obsessed with Black wealth, and we talk about as much as 10 times a day under one condition. The condition is that you have to be Black first. Black first means we put our community at the top of our priority list. It also means that we solve our own problems. We build for our community. We make sure our children are the best and the brightest. If you agree with that philosophy, put a hashtag B in the number one in the chat, hashtag B1. Now, somebody says that there is no sound. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a yes if you can hear me in the chat. Give me a yes. Put yes in the chat if you're able to hear everything that I'm saying, so that I can make sure that I'm coming through all right. Because sometimes somebody's mic isn't working and they can't hear me. So once I see the yeses, that'll let me know I can keep going. All right. So let's see. Okay, I see some yeses. All right. Yes. I see hashtag B1. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. There was a whole situation that happened with this company called Better.com. Has anybody heard of Better? Better.com is a mortgage lender that's very, very big. It's a big company. They have a $7 billion valuation, a pretty massive company. It's kind of crazy. And Sebastian, I love you too. And he says, love you, boys. Thank you for being a leader. Well, thank you. And thank you for your support, man. I appreciate that very much. So in Better.com, the CEO was in the news recently over something that they probably it's bad publicity. It's not the kind of publicity the company would want, and it's kind of a story that's shaping into kind of a Scrooge McDuck kind of situation where basically the CEO, and I'm going to get his name. His name's not in front of me right now, but the CEO of Better.com basically like got all of his employees together for a big Zoom meeting. And then he fired everybody in the Zoom meeting. Like he had hundreds of people that came together for this big Zoom, and he gets them all in the Zoom, and he fires everybody. And the video is all over the internet, and it's making him look really bad. It's making the company look terrible. And I'm gonna tell you, people are pretty mad. People are pretty mad at him. I'm looking to find out what the guy's name is. Let me see here. They said the CEO of Better.com laid off more than 900 employees over Zoom last week. He accused at least 250 terminated staffers of working just 2 hours a day. Their management team reviewed employee productivity data, such as missed phone calls. His name is Vishal Garg, the founder and CEO of the digital mortgage company Better.com, laid off 200 people over Zoom. He accused at least 250 terminated staff members of stealing from the company by working just 2 hours a day. Quote, you guys know that at least 250 of the people terminated were working an average of 2 hours a day while clocking in for 8 hours a day in the payroll system. That's a problem, right? That's a problem. But here's what's interesting, right? I'm going to play the video for you guys so you guys can actually hear it from him and hear his Zoom meeting. It's very interesting. And I'm going to give you some perspective on this in terms of understanding why I think this just went bad. This is when keeping it real went wrong. Let me see if I can pull this up. I hope you guys can hear it. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to try to turn it up so you guys can hear everything. Let me hit the button. Y'all know how I am with the technology. Sometimes I'll mess it up and I don't want to do that. All right, so here we go. Let me know. Give me a yes if you can hear this okay.
You are part of the unlucky group being laid off. Your employment here is terminated effective immediately. It's been a really, really challenging decision to make. This is the second time in my career I'm doing this, and I do not want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. This time I hope to be stronger. But we are laying off about 15% of the company.
You gotta be kidding me.
The market has changed, as you know, and we have to move with it in order to survive. You're going to get an email from HR, askhr@better.com, and your benefits. For all U.S. employees, we're providing 4 weeks.
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
1 month of full benefits and 2 months of COBRA, for which we will pay the premium. Thank you for each and every one of your individual contributions to Better.
All right. Now, obviously that's a really sad video. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's like watching somebody kick an old lady or, like beat up a 2-year-old or something, right? It's kind of, and you can hear people in the background like, "Oh, this is terrible," and it is terrible. I'm not making fun of that at all. My heart goes out to all the people that happened to, and I wanted to talk about it because I feel like this is an interesting opportunity to really talk about the ups and the downs of a capitalist system and where America is going right now. So let me just give you the quick breakdown, the Dr. Boyce breakdown on this. And really, I'd like to see both sides of the equation. So here's what I think that the CEO was trying to do, which he did not do very well. I think he was trying to be honest and forthright, right? I think it reminds me of a time where there was this really pretty lady that I really liked a lot. But unfortunately, and after we started dating a little bit, I found there was another lady I just happened to meet. Wasn't my fault. God just blessed me twice at the same time. And I felt like, okay, the right thing to do is I can't break up with her over the phone. I'm not just not going to show up. I'm not just going to send her a text message and say, "Yo, Shorty, I'm out." I said, I'm going to go to her house and I'm going to look her in the eye and I'm going to tell her the truth and let her know what's going on. Because ladies, y'all always say y'all want the truth, right? Which, by the way, sometimes they don't really want it, but that's what y'all say, right? So I went to the lady's house and I tried my best. I said, I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to stick to the plan, right? Because I could have been a player, right? I could have just, it's a free country, right? I could have just dated around and all that, right? But I didn't. I said, I'm going to go tell her the truth. And do you know that I got called every bastard, every son of a bitch, every cuss word you can think of? I got called all those words. You're a terrible person. You're this, that. And I'm sitting there thinking, God, I don't know what, I mean, damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? I didn't know, I felt bad. I felt terrible. And it was like, man, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought she'd appreciate it, but she didn't, right? She didn't, right? So sometimes, that whole like, the truth will set you free. Sometimes the truth will get you kicked in the face. But here's the deal. All right. I think maybe that's what the guy was doing. The guy's like, I'm going to confront and speak to these employees directly to let them know, bring the bad news to them directly. Now, if you look up better.com, here's what's interesting about this company. And this gives it helps you understand what's going on, right? So better.com did lose money this quarter. They lost about $86 million this quarter. So their profitability is negative. The hard thing about running a business, a lot of you are business owners in here. You're going to have big empires one day. Your children are going to run bigger empires. So you're going to have to be ready for those hard conversations where you got to cut something out, right? Now, so some would say, look, they had to do it. They were losing money. They're bleeding almost $100 million in a quarter. That's hard to do for a long period of time. You got to make a move. You got to make an adjustment. Here's the other challenge, though. Here's the other issue. Better.com was just granted, I want to say, almost $750 million in liquidity, in liquid cash from a company called Softbank. Softbank is this big fund run by a Japanese guy. I can't remember his name. And he literally has $100 billion where he just goes around pumping money into companies. Like, they just have money to burn. It's ridiculous, right? We can't even get our reparations. A lot of y'all can't even get a $30,000 loan from the bank for your business, but they run around throwing around billions of dollars like it ain't nothing, right? Backing up crappy little startups that ain't even made a nickel. It's ridiculous. That's the real racism in America, by the way. Stop talking that Black Lives Matter stuff. That's all cool and good, but I want the money. I want black folks to have the money. That's, y'all have heard me say this before. So here's the deal, right? So they had cash. See, this is my point, right? A lot of times you think businesses die because they aren't profitable. No, businesses that die tend to die because they don't have liquidity. They don't have enough cash. Liquidity is in many cases as important, if not more important, than actual profitability. Part of the reason that their profitability declined, part of the reason that they weren't able to make a profit, I would argue, is probably because this cash infusion put them in a position where they were aggressively chasing growth, right? That means that when you get the cash, you're using all the cash to try to expand your market. It's greed, greed, greed. That's what capitalism is. We got to be the best. We got to be the first. We must have growth no matter what. Right? That's what they do, right? That's the problem with capitalism. It's because capitalism is never satisfied. It's like the fat kid who, after he eats a whole pizza, he wants to eat your pizza. He wants to eat his cheeseburger. He wants to eat her fried chicken. He can't stop eating, right? He must eat anything. Right? Anything within a 100-mile radius, he's eating it, right? That is a problem. That's gluttonous. And that's what American capitalism does, because you can't convince me. You cannot convince me on any planet that this business owner, this guy, had to fire those people. You can't convince me that he had to let those people go at Christmas time. You can't. You just can't. I can understand what would have happened if he didn't, right? If he tried to make a way to keep those people there, at least through Christmas, his shareholders would have gotten pissed. But that's your problem with capitalism. Milton Friedman, an economist at the University of Chicago in the 1970s, came out with a bullshit theory that says that maximizing shareholder wealth is the most important thing for a company to do. And because white people, I guess, they copy other white people that they think are smart, they start, because the University of Chicago is kind of the Vatican of finance, right? When I was getting my PhD, it was like you did not dispute anything that came out of the Vatican, right? My doctoral advisor, his name was Andrew Caroli. He graduated from the University of Chicago, and we just really had this admiration for the University of Chicago. So anything that came out of their mouths was like the gospel. You could not confront that. It's a great school. My wife went to that school. They didn't let me in. But here's the deal. They were wrong. They were wrong. And right now, to this day, CEOs are starting to question Milton Friedman's assumption that maximizing shareholder wealth was the number one objective of a corporation. That's not true. The job of a corporation is not just to maximize shareholder wealth, because you have other stakeholders in the game. You have the employees, you have the suppliers, you have the customers, you have the environment, you have all these other stakeholders in the game. But yet, for some reason, you've been trained to believe that the only people that matter are the ones at the top. That is a flawed strategy. That's like saying that in this household, I got my wife and my 3 kids, but all that matters is that Boyce gets to eat. As long as Boyce gets to eat, then everything's good, even if everybody's starving to death. Well, that's not how you run a family. And that's certainly not how you run a country. That's not how you run a company, right? But in America, that's the model that's been pushed and enforced upon us, right? So here's what I'm getting to, right? The reason I would challenge better.com, and this is going to be a PR nightmare for them, obviously, but honestly, I don't know how long people are going to really care about this. Where I would challenge better.com is the fact that while you might convince me that you had to let those people go, how many of y'all think that the CEO is going to also like end up bankrupt? How many of y'all think? I think the CEO is probably going to be all right. He's going to have about probably $500 million in the bank. What do y'all think? You think he's going to be okay financially? What y'all think? What about the shareholders? You think the shareholders are going to go bankrupt? You think they're going to lose everything? No, they're going to be fine, right? So your problem in America, and this is what I really want to encourage you to understand. I hear people all the time use terms like black capitalism. Black folks are really moving toward wealth. We're really moving toward understanding economics and appreciating economic strength as a form of black liberation, which makes me very, very happy, very, very proud. I see lots of young guys and women behind me who are now really embracing this and really taking it to the next level. Rappers are rapping about it. Investing in wealth has become the new black, and I love it. It is really exciting for me to watch. But 2 things I want you to be very careful about is embracing capitalist greed, right? That Eurocentric capitalism is incredibly unhealthy, and it's going to lead to the downfall of America. Even the Chinese reject it. The Chinese are theoretically communist. They operate great businesses, but they also understand that things like a healthy society is more important than making an extra dollar. America does not understand that. That's why your healthcare system is all jacked up. Big Pharma is eating up everybody's lunch and spitting poison out. That's why your food industry is all messed up. That's why you've got all these problems. Your kids are not being educated because everybody thinks that putting an extra dollar in a billionaire's pocket is more important than creating a better society. That is a problem. The other thing I would encourage you to be thoughtful about, to not embrace, is excessive materialism. This is where I would challenge some of the rappers. If you're talking about economic power, don't just talk about the power to go buy a new Bentley. Don't just talk about how you got 30 stacks and you went to the club. Don't just talk about how many gold chains you can buy. Talk about the power of wealth and ownership of land, where you can actually have freedom from white supremacy to go and develop systems that allow you to create healthy, wealthy, happy children so that your families can actually be strong and you can have a fortified community. Why don't we rap about that as much as we rap about going to the club and buying bottles of bullshit that we're going to then just put in our bodies like poison? Seriously, I'm not hating on it. I'm not dogging it out, but that is immature thinking. That's low level, low vibrational thinking. Wealth isn't just for materialism. Wealth is really a type of power that gives you sovereignty and the ability to move through the world with peace of mind. It allows you to operate on a higher spiritual vibration because you're not desperately like rat packing around trying to get an extra dollar just to get by. You're able to operate on a higher frequency because your basic needs have been taken care of, and now you can focus on the things that matter. Right? Money is not everything. It is not everything. So with this CEO of Better.com, I totally understand what was probably going on here. The company was losing money. The reason the company was losing money was not because they're not making just tons of money. They were losing money probably because they had a lot of cash. With that cash comes the expectation of additional growth. They were a .com SPAC, which has very high valuations on the market, driven by an expectation of enormous, insane, ridiculous amounts of growth. And when you can't match those insane expectations of ridiculous amounts of growth, then you end up cutting off the weakest link. Well, what is the weakest link? Well, it's those employees. Because most of them, they ain't got unions no more, none of that. They don't protect labor. They don't protect workers' rights anymore. So that's the one good thing about this pandemic and the Great Resignation is giving a little bit more leverage and power to the worker. And this leverage and power was strategically and systematically dismantled over the last 30 years. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. That's what's going on in this video, in my opinion. I think they're going to get their butts kicked over this for a little while, but then again, honestly, I think it's just going to kind of go away. And my heart goes out to the people that were affected by this layoff. And I guess it is what it is. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. By the way, the Black Business School is holding a Forex event. Anybody that wants to learn how to trade Forex, we talk about stocks all the time. In fact, we got stock market investing class tomorrow. So if you want to go to boycewatkins.com, you can learn about the Forex event on Friday, which is totally free. Courtney Logan, who's an attorney, who's an expert Forex trader, is partnering with the Black Business School. He's one of our adjunct faculty. He will be doing a Forex event on Friday. If you want to join, just go to boycewatkins.com. It's right there at the top. Also, if you want to join us for stock market investing class, where I will answer your questions, you can send me your questions. I'll tell you what stocks I'm buying, all the stuff. I'll make it easy for you. Feel free to also go to boycewatkins.com and take a look. We have a lot of good stuff for you, and I hope you'll consider joining the Black Business School. So take care, guys. Have a great day. Love you. God bless you. And hit the thumbs up button on your way out if you could. I would appreciate that very much. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.